Good morning, students. Today we are going to see the new investment institution in India, that is Provident Fund. Now, this is now you all have heard about pension fund. Pension fund कब मिलता है? जब कोई भी एम्प्लॉई रिटायर होता है, ओके उसके बाद उसको क्या मिलता है? दे गेट पेंशन फंड. बट दिस प्रोविडेंट फंड इज़ व्हेन यू लीव द जॉब. अगर आप एक जगह काम कर रहे हैं एंड यू लीव एंड यू जॉइन अनदर, ओके. सो अगर आप प्रोविडेंट फंड के मेंबर हो देन you will continue getting these services, okay. So provident fund is that type of a fund which provides benefit to the employees of the company who is the member of the fund upon the termination of employment, okay. So here यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि अगर आपने जॉब भी छोड़ दिया then you also get this benefit. Here in this fund, okay, in this investment fund, both the employer and the employee is required to make contribution to the fund in accordance with the predetermined rate, okay. जो predetermined rate है उसके अकॉर्डिंग दोनों ने, अपने employer and employee ने यहाँ पे contribute करना चाहिए. Now this became eligible for membership of the fund. Workers must have complete 1 year continuation service or have worked for 240 days during the period of 12 months, okay. उसने 12 months में 240 days तो काम करना चाहिए. Only then he is eligible for the membership, otherwise he is not eligible. If he leaves before 1 year or before 240 days of working, then he won't be allowed as a member of the provident fund scheme, okay. So here the employees have to contribute a certain rate of basic wage, okay. जो wage है उसमें से certain amount जो है it will be going to the provident fund, dearness allowance and retaining allowances. So similarly, employers who contribute at the same rate, the provident fund was originally set up the bid to provide monetary security to the employees who they retire, okay. So they are too often people find the golden years of the life are marked by financial adequacy and dependency on relatives or children, okay. So when they get that the amount, they feel very happy because they get a very huge amount, because very huge amount, and this makes them independent from the relatives and children, okay. So the provident fund is designed to provide the retiring individual with dignity and security. So when they retire, they will get a huge amount of provident fund which can be useful for him to live a very beautiful and a secured life, okay. However, it has over the years developed a broad plan for social security which covers retirement, buying house, medical expenses and related expenses. So here now provident fund is giving so many what you call so many of the services that it will help you to buy medicines, it will help you to buy a house and other related expenses. Now how is the organization of the provident fund, okay. Now here the employees of the provident fund organization with the abbreviation EPFO is a statutory body of the government of India, okay, under the ministry of whom? Ministry of Labor and Employment. So it administers a compulsory contributory provident fund scheme, pension scheme and insurance scheme, okay. So it is one of the largest social security organization in India in terms of number of covered beneficiaries and the volume of financial transactions undertaken, okay. So the EPFO apex decision making body is the central board of trustee, okay. So here the EPFO apex decision making body and is the central board of the trustee, okay. So here the employee provident fund organization has been a dual role of being enforcement agency to the oversee and the implementation of EVF and MP Act and the service provider for the covered beneficiaries throughout the country, okay. So it gives beneficiary services to the people who are the members of this provident fund organization, okay. The commissioner of the organization was vested with the vast powers under the statute conferring quasi-judicial authority for the search and seizure of record, assessment of financial liability on the employer, okay, levy of damages, attachment and auctions of a defaulter's property, prosecution and arrest and detention in civil prison, okay. So administratively the organization is organized into zones which are headed by additional central provident fund commissioner for each of the political state in the country, okay. They have either one or more than one regional offices headed by regional PF commissioner, that is grade 1, which are further subdivided into sub regions headed by रीजनल पीएफ कमीशन ग्रेड 2, ओके. सो ये ऐसे उनका रहता है, ओके. टू असिस्ट देम, नाउ फॉर दिस कमिश्नर को असिस्ट करने के लिए देयर आर असिस्टेंट पीएफ कमिश्नर, ओके. मोस्ट ऑफ द डिस्ट्रिक्ट इन द कंट्री हैव स्मॉल डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफिसेस वेयर एन एनफोर्समेंट ऑफिसर इज स्टेशन टू इंस्पेक्ट द local establishment and attend to the grievances. Now many employees have their problems and all. To attend this, there are some in every district you will find some PF office, okay. Now here the enforcement officer is appointed so that he will inspect the local establishment and attend to the problems of the employees, the people who are the members of this provident fund. Now how is the working of the provident fund undertaken, okay. Now provident fund is way of saving mostly by the people to earn their income in salaries, okay. The people मतलब जो people लोग हैं जो salary earn करते हैं, okay. Now they can save only people who earn salary, okay. मतलब जो कहाँ पे भी employed है, okay. Only these people can be a member of this provident fund. They can save mostly by the way by this provident fund. Recently, with the starting of the public provident fund, it is also to save in this form, okay. You can save in this form also, okay. Now there are some provident fund which are introduced. Let me introduce to you all which are the different provident fund scheme. That is employee provident fund scheme, EPF, okay, covering non-exempted establishments, that is industrial. Provident fund of exempted industrial establishment, central and state employee provident fund, that is non-industrial. Coal mines provident fund, Assam tea plantation provident fund, public provident fund, okay. So these are some of the schemes which are introduced, okay. So here the provident fund is very important. These are the different schemes. They have their own provident fund scheme. जैसे कि ये जो इंडस्ट्रियल है, प्राइवेट है, नॉन इंडस्ट्रियल है, कोल माइन का है, आसाम टी का है. So they have their own provident fund. Now what are the functions of this provident fund? So employee provident fund is created by the employees provident fund organization, that is EPFO, okay, of India, a statutory body of the Indian government under the labor and employment ministry, okay. So it states that an organization having 20 or more permanent employees on its payroll should register with the EPFO, okay. अगर उनके पास 20 employees है, if they have 20 permanent employees in their organization and if there are 20 permanent employees should be on the payroll, okay, only then they can enter into provident fund scheme. They can register on the provident fund scheme organization, okay. Then a provident fund is a fund that is created through contribution to provident financial support to individuals in the future, specifically for post retirement, okay. रिटायरमेंट होने के बाद अगर उनको कुछ फैसिलिटीज़ चाहिए then they can contribute to this financial support of the provident fund, okay. Then the employee provident fund is just a fund, okay, nothing else. Then contributions are made on monthly basis. basis. Okay, so whatever salary they get monthly, on that some amount will go to the provident fund directly. So here both employees and the employee thereby encourages employee to save a portion of their salary each month. Okay, so investment are made by millions of employees across India, are pooled together and invested by the trust. So this is how it is working. Then the employee provident fund जो है is a tax free investment instrument of salaried class. Okay, then 7, interest on it is a tax free and returns are also not taxed. Okay, so these are some of the benefits of the provident fund, that is it is totally tax free. Okay, you don't need to pay the tax if you have this. Now public provident fund is a novel scheme. Okay, this novel scheme was introduced in the year 1968. Okay, so this was the earlier operated through SBI and its subsidiaries, but with effects from 1979, PPF account can be opened at the head of post office. Okay, the maturity period of PPF is only 15 years. Okay, while the maturity period of EPF जो है employee provident fund जो है, it depends on the age of at which the employee joins the fund. Okay, so in case of EPF, if the employee joins the contributory PPF alternately, then there is a specific contribution made to the employees employer to the employees PF. Okay, no such provisions is done in case of PPF. Okay, so during the term of public provident fund scheme, withdrawals to the extent of 50% of the outstanding amount to the credit of the concerned person's account is allowed at the end of the 7th, 11th and 15 years. Okay, तो यहाँ पे 7 बरस के बाद या 11 बरस के बाद या 15 years के बाद, depends on the person. Okay, so before the withdrawal facility, okay, during the first 6 years it is possible to get loan up to 25%. Okay, you can get loan also on this, and the balance to the credit once credit provided 2 years have expired after opening the PF account. Okay, so you can get on the first 6 years. Okay, 2 years होने चाहिए, 2 years होने के बाद, but within 6 years you can get a loan amount also, that is up to 25% you will get the loan on the PF amount which you have. Okay, so in case of EPF, withdrawal facility are more restricted. Okay, so in this case PPF is possible to vary the amount contribution from year to year, while the flexibility in the case of EPF in respect is limited. Both the scheme enjoys the tax benefit. You can enjoy the tax benefit also. Now there are rate of return on PF fund. Okay, the rate of interest was increased from 3.5% in 1955-56 to 4.75% in 1966-67, and in 1978 it was 9%. So slowly it started increasing, and it became 12% till 1999, but afterwards in 2003 it gradually reduced to 8%. Okay, the effect of return is more because of the income tax and the wealth tax benefit. Okay, यहाँ पे income बहुत, क्योंकि people get the income tax benefit and wealth benefit on the EPF fund. Now investment of PF rules. Okay, so these rules are contained in the Indian Trust Act 1882. Okay, and Employee Provident Fund Act 1952. Okay, the rule specifies that fund mobilized through saving and PF should be invested either wholly or substantially in the central and state government securities. Okay, the rules or the restrictions which regards to the private fund, provident fund, superannuation and gratuity fund, however, undergone the following changes. Okay, the prescribed pattern of investment in 1955-56 was NSE 10%, short-term government securities 10%, medium-term government securities 30%, and long-term securities 50%. Okay. Now the obligatory investment in government securities was 50% in 1970-71, which was reduced to 45% in the year 1971-72. Okay, and residual part, that is the remaining, is 55% of the PF resources could be invested in the state government securities. Okay, government guarantee securities, small savings certificates, and post office time deposits since that year. Okay, with regards to the portfolio restrictions on private PF, the special deposit scheme, that is SDS, was created recently for the period of 3 years. Kitna years? 3 years, which was extended. Okay, so here private PF investment in SDS has progressively reduced from 85% in April 1993 to 20% from now. Okay, so this is how it works. So there are some factors which are responsible for the growth of PFs in India. Okay, so these factors are what? Statutory measures adopted to make the provident fund compulsory for industrial and other establishment. Okay, so it was compulsory that provident fund scheme was should be adopted by the industrial and other establishment. करना ही चाहिए उन्हें, they have to invest. Okay, then number of establishment covered has increased. Okay, जो establishment provident fund लेते थे वो बढ़ गए. Okay, they have increased. Then this is how the growth of PF was India was increasing. Then there was an expansion in industrial and service sector of the economy, and the resultant increase in the number of salary earners. Okay, there was salary earners का increase भी हो गया. Then introduction of the novel scheme, public provident scheme. Okay, so there was introduction of public provident scheme also. This was known as a novel scheme. Then provision of tax benefits to such savers. Okay, then increase in the minimum rate of contribution by the employees and the employers. Change in the pay structure, that is increase in the basic pay, increase in the level of money income. So these are the factors which were responsible for the growth of PFs in India. Okay, बहुत सारे companies ने PF scheme introduce किया. There was people who was earning with the salary, so salary earners का number increase हो गया. There was the introduction of provident fund scheme, ये scheme जो है वो भी introduce किया. Then this scheme was given the tax benefit also. So when there is tax benefit, there are more investment people who invest in PFs. Okay, it also changes the pay structure, increase in the basic pay. Okay, and there is also increase in the level of money. Now let's see what is the growth of PF in India. Now the progress has been tremendous since the beginning of the planning period. Okay, the volume of savings of the household sectors in PF has increased from 19 crores in 1950-51 to 1172 crores in 1976-77 and 7194 crores in 88-89. Okay, 25,438 crores in 1955-96. देखो कितना increase हो रहा है. And in 2001-2002 it was 52,435 crores. Okay, so here the importance of PF in recent years has been excelled only by bank deposit and small savings. Okay, so PF accounted for 13% of the saving in the financial asset of the household sector in 1955-56, 24% in 1975-76, 18% in 1988-89, and 25.4% in 1995-96. 18% in 2001-2003. Okay, there has been acceleration of about 9,000 crores per year into the PF. Okay, now Employee Provident Fund Organization, the abbreviation is for this is EPFO, is a statutory body of Government of India under the Ministry of what? Labor and Employment. The EPFO apex decision making body is a central body of the trustee, that is CBT. The total asset under the management are more than 5 lakh crores. Okay, which is US dollar 91 million as on 1st May 2013. So there is tremendous growth in the what you call in the PF scheme of India. Okay, so in this class we have seen what is PF, what is the how is the organization of PF fund, working of the provident fund, functions of the provident fund. Then we have seen types of provident fund. then provident fund का नॉवेल स्कीम जैसे इंट्रोड्यूस किया उसके बारे में देखा. रेट ऑफ PF फंड वी हैव सीन. Investment of PF rules we have seen. Then factors responsible for the growth of PF fund. Okay, growth of PFs in India. These are the things we have seen in this class. Okay, so for this I have referred two books, that is Sharp and also Nirali publication. So you can see the Nirali publication book also for more reference, but for your exam point of view Sharp is okay, but if you want to gain more knowledge you can use Nirali publication also.